In this video, I will show you how to make this electric guitar sound in Serum Synth. It's easy, just watch this video. Before we begin the sound design tutorial in Serum, it is important to note that electric guitar playing employs a variety of techniques, such as pitch bending, feedback, and others. Therefore, in order to achieve a natural and realistic sound output, it is essential to simulate these techniques when writing your notes in your DAW. As you can see here, I have used a significant amount of pitch bend. In order to achieve the desired sound, it was important to note this point. Now it is time to proceed with sound synthesis. To create a lead electric guitar sound in Serum, I use a square wavetable. I have found that this wave is well suited for creating these types of sounds, and it produces a solid and powerful sound. For the oscillator A, I set the unison amount to 1 to create a clean single-note sound. This is the main part of the sound, so we don't want it to be too busy. For the oscillator B, I use the electric guitar wavetable to add a more realistic texture to the sound. This will help to create a more authentic electric guitar sound. The next step in creating the sound is to set up the envelope 1, which is related to the sound's amplitude. The lead electric guitar sound is a sound with a long decay and sustain, so we will set up the envelope so that our sound is long and the sound fades out with a slow slope. In this step, I will set up the velocity settings. This is an important step, but most people who make sounds with synthesizers don't do it. With this, we can specify that when we press the keys of a MIDI controller or keyboard with different intensities, the output sound level will also decrease and increase to the same extent. In fact, with this, we add a beautiful dynamic range to our playing and make the final result more natural. For the filter settings, I use the MG Low 18. This is a low-pass filter that cuts off high frequencies with a relatively steep slope. I also increase the drive amount to give us a harsh sound. To control the amount of the low-pass filter's effect, I will connect the LFO1 to the cutoff knob of the filter. The LFO settings should be such that when the note is played, the filter has a very fast effect. This will add an attack to the start of our sound. In this part of the tutorial, we will be simulating the natural frequency fluctuations of a physical electric guitar. In a guitar, the vibrations of the strings are not perfectly accurate. They are slightly higher or lower than the theoretical frequencies of each note. This is due to a number of factors, including the elasticity of the strings, the mass of the strings, and the tension of the strings. We can simulate this by connecting LFO2 to the warp parameter in oscillator A. We'll set the warp mode to sync, which will add a random frequency to our sound. To create a more dynamic and unpredictable sound, we can also connect the LFO2 to the wavetable position of oscillator B so that it randomly plays different samples of the wave shape. In a real guitar, when you bend a string, the pitch of the note produced is not exactly the same as the pitch of the open string. This is because the string is being stretched, which changes its fundamental frequency. In Serum, I simulated this effect by using the fine knob to adjust the pitch of the note produced by the oscillator. To control the fine amount, I used LFO3. To add realism and presence to the sound, I added a short percussive noise to simulate the sound of a pick hitting a guitar string. Let's take a look at the effects section of Serum to add some depth and presence to the sound. The electric guitar has a natural emphasis on the mid-range frequencies, which is where most of the guitar's body and tone are located. To achieve a more balanced sound, I use an equalizer. To add depth and richness to the sound, I used a chorus effect with a low depth and rate. This creates a subtle doubling effect that helps to fill out the sound without making it overly muddy or distorted. The next effect I added was distortion. Distortion is a type of dynamic processing that compresses the signal, adding harmonics and overtones. This can create a more aggressive and powerful tone, as well as a thicker, richer sound. The last effect I added in Serum is a multiband compressor. This effect allows me to control the dynamics of the sound in different frequency bands, resulting in a more balanced and controlled sound. A handy trick for creating sounds like this is to enable the mono and legato options with a low port time. This will cause note transitions to sound like a glide, similar to the sound of a guitarist sliding their hand across the fretboard. One way to add creativity to your playing is to use pitch bend with a high range. This can be used to simulate techniques like slides or even feedback. To do this, I will connect one of the macro knobs to the Serum synthesizer's master tune. In Serum, you can assign macros to any parameter in the synthesizer. This allows you to control parameters with your keyboard or MIDI controller. To connect a macro to the master tune, follow these steps. At this point, we have a sound that has the basic elements of an electric guitar sound. However, to fully capture the character of an electric guitar, we need to use some additional processing. This processing can be done using a variety of plugins, such as a guitar amp, a distortion pedal, and an equalizer. A guitar amp is a critical component in creating an electric guitar sound. It provides the distortion, warmth, and sustain that are essential to the sound of an electric guitar. I used Guitar Rig. There are many different guitar amps available, so it is important to experiment to find one that suits your needs. That's it for now. I hope you learned something new. Let's go ahead and listen to the music I made with this sound. But before that, if you have any questions or feedback, please let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified of new videos.